Hi, this is Josh from Shamma Sandals, and today on Run With Us, we are going to be running the Pipeline Trail at Henry Cowell State Park. Now this is the main entrance to the southern entrance to Henry Cowell, but we're actually not going to take this is technically the Pipeline Road right here, but we're not actually going to run on this right now. We're going to take a different entrance. We're going to go find the Graham Hill Trail, and we're going to start from there. So in order to do that, we're going to head back out the gate and up this parking lot section, and we're going to find the Graham Hill Trail. So here we go. So to get to the Graham Hill Trail, we're going to run up this little road, and this is basically the parking lot for the south boundary entrance. And then we're going to take a left here and jump on the Graham Hill Trail. Okay, so at this point we're almost near the top of the parking lot. Just going to take a quick little left. And basically we're going to head towards the campground here. So it's 1.4 miles to the campground here at Henry Cowell. This is a really cool trail. I ran here at Henry Cowell for years, and I didn't know about this trail. That's because Henry Cowell is just full of trails. We're gonna come back here at some point and do some of the other ones, but this is a fun one. We're basically gonna be following Graham Hill Road, and it'll meet up with the campground. And so here we go. All right, so I just wanted to say a couple things about this run in particular. This is definitely one of my favorite trails, and it's got a special place in my heart because a few years ago I was really struggling with some injuries. In particular, I had Morton's toe. It was awful. Like my second toe, where it kind of meets up with the foot, it was just sore and swollen all the time. And I just felt like, man, I can't do this. I keep getting different injuries. But I would come out here because this trail has a lot of sand built into the trail. Not built into it, but this whole mountain area here between Graham Hill and Scotts Valley, there's all these sand hills, and there's forests that have grown up over them. So I came out to this run, to this trail, and I'd run it a few times a week. And because of the soft ground, I was really able to like kind of get myself back into running shape and figure out how to run better and really work on my technique. So this was kind of an important place for me. Besides that, it's really close to my house. It's like about 5 minutes away. So it's always an easy run for me to get to, and great place to test out the sandals. I've done a lot of the testing here. A couple winters ago, I was working on the Ultra Grip and figuring out what it was that I liked about the sandals, what I didn't like about them, or the different grip top materials. And this place is quite amazing in the winter when it's raining a lot. It's a lot of fun to run here. So anyways, here we go. So one of the reasons that I take the Graham Hill Road Trail on this pipeline loop is It's not too steep right now. A lot of times I'm here in the morning and I'm being lazy and I need to warm up. And so it's a nice, soft, gradual increase in elevation. It kind of gets me warmed up. And it's only for 1.5 miles, so it's a nice little warm up. And then I'm ready to go. As you can see, it's just beautiful out here. Got all kinds of trees, grasses. To my left, if you were to follow, go out in the bushes that way a little bit, you find a deep ravine where the creek bed runs, which we're gonna run back through later. We also actually have a guest runner on this video. My brother Sean, he's the cameraman today when I'm not holding the GoPro. He's trying to not be on stage because he's a very disciplined actor. Okay, so let's try and find him. Let's catch up to him. He's gotta be here somewhere. There he is, let's get him. We got you, Sean. So, there's Sean back there. We caught him.
I stopped running because you stopped.
Sure. Anyways, back to it. We have made it to the end of the Graham Hill Trail, as far as we're gonna go. We're at the entrance to Henry Cowell Redwoods State Park, and the entrance on the Graham Hill side. And so from here, we're gonna run on the main entrance road, just right down there. We're gonna follow it to the campground. We're actually not quite to the campground. We're gonna go to the amphitheater, and we're gonna follow a trail in the woods there. So here we go. So one other thing about the Graham Hill run that I like a lot is there's tons and tons of variety. It's not just the terrain with the different kinds of trees. Like right now we're in ponderosa pines, and we are in we're in the oak trees, but we also have
Cars.
We've got cars. We've got sandy trails that are very technical. We got uphills, we got downhills. We're running through the redwood trees, and we're going to be running on dirt with you know, a lot of the redwood duff that hits the ground. And then we're also going to be running on some of these service roads and the pipeline road itself, which is just a paved road, as you can see. And actually I'm going to do something here really quick, which is this is something I picked up from Mike Prevost. And one of the problems I have from sewing so much, making the sandals, is that my right leg gets really tensed up, and I tend to kind of overdo it with my right, and I kickstand, meaning I put my left leg, I can't really show you that right now, but I put my left leg out. Instead of running in a straight line, it kind of goes off to the side. So one thing that Mike suggested, and I think it's a great idea, for 5 minutes during your run, find a dotted line. So we got a dotted line here on the road, and what we're gonna do is we are actually going to, I'm going to point this down so you can see my feet. So what I'm going to do is, my goal is to land with my left big toe on the left side of the line, and my right big toe, let's see, my right big toe on the right side of the line. And I'm going to do that for about 5 minutes. And so I'm going to do that while I'm going through the campsite here. And that will help. You want to do that just for 5 minutes at a time, and it'll help to straighten you out and stop kickstanding. All right, just 5 minutes. You don't want to do more than that, or you'll could end up hurting yourself. It's a little bit tricky. more you think about it, actually, the harder it gets. So, I'm gonna keep my feet evenly spaced on this line. It's stressful because people are watching. So here we are, I've been running on the road. We're almost to the campground, which is just up to the right. But we're gonna run. Sean's checking out this nature center thing.
Don't get a tick.
Don't get a tick. Here, come over here, but don't use the ramp. Very impressive. Okay, so now we're running through the amphitheater. And I don't even really, we'll find out the name of this trail here. So this is just, I guess we're gonna call it Pine Trail. This is Pine Trail to the observation deck. So it's about a mile. This is probably my favorite stretch of trail in the park. Again, a lot of little rolling hills, and it's kind of fast. You get a little bit of a downhill and then through some redwoods and up to the observation deck. Here we go. All right, so we're on the Pine Trail right now, and we're basically running parallel to the Graham Hill Trail, and we're on the other side of the creek. So that's what basically the Graham Hill Trail will do for you. Put you on the other side of the creek, running parallel, so we're basically going south as if we're, south on Graham Hill Road. All right, so this part of the trail is pretty neat too. We're starting to get more redwoods and nice light in here too. Really nice light, actually. All right, here we are. We got to the end of the Pine Trail, and from here we're going to cross this road, this service road. I think this is the Powder Mill Road, and this is a road you would come, if we hadn't gone left to the amphitheater and gone right, we could have followed this road. It's a nice road for running on if you're looking for something that's less technical than the Pine Trail. So now we're going to go up Pine Trail to the observation deck, which is going to be another 0.4 half mile. So here we go. Now we're gonna pass some horses on the way. There's a lot of horses out here. All right. So my brother Sean, who's here on the run with me, showed up in the shots now and then. Sean is, I'm actually the oldest brother, and Sean's the youngest. And there's
17 years.
Yeah, 17 years difference. So the nice thing about, I don't know if it's good, but whenever, and people always say that I look like Sean, and I go, no. That's backwards. I was first. Sean looks like me. I'm claiming to that.
Yep.
But the thing is, like with Sean, I can always look back and be reminded of how it used to be 17 years ago. It's like a window into the past.
Yep.
Anyway.
Back when he was 22.
So here we go. They've been doing a lot of burn control up here. And you can kind of see the horses up there on the ridge. So if you were on this section of trail a year ago, where all this burn is, you wouldn't be able to see anything. It would look like this side of the trail. Just thick brush, short oaks, and different things. This is actually a pretty tough section. It's all uphill and it's deep sand. It's like running at the beach, except you're running up a mountain. So, as you can see, the top of this ridge here, There's 3 horses there. Top of this ridge, it's the observation deck. I'll be there in just a minute. So, I usually give myself a little break when I get to the top here. I'll go up and check out the view from the observation deck. So here we go. So this is the big reward for making it all the way to the observation deck. It's just a really incredible view. You can see it's actually, there's some fog out there on the bay right now, so it's hard to see out to Monterey, but you can see way out to Monterey, and
Pretty much no matter where you live, you can see your house from here.
yeah, you can look up the San Lorenzo Valley, you can look towards Scotts Valley and the Santa Cruz Mountains. There's the San Lorenzo Valley, we got the quarry up there. Bonnie Dune is probably up that way, and then way out there from the point of the mountain down is going to be Boulder Creek. And yeah, so really awesome view, definitely worth coming to the observation deck. At this point, the sand is so deep, so thick, it's literally like running at the beach. And sometimes I go back and forth between whether I'd rather run in thinner sandals, running in some Chargers right now, or mountain goats, because mountain goats are the best on the sand, especially loose material. They really do help you bridge the gap. In any case, it is so pretty out here. There's kind of a little view. I can just barely see some of Santa Cruz peeking through the trees right there. So this whole meadow on the side of the hill, this was all burned out a few years ago. It's all burnt. And it's coming back. It looks great. There's beautiful views. So good work, Cal Fire. Excuse us. All right, we're almost done with the sandy portion of the trail. We're out in the open, and then we're gonna totally change the scenery here and go back into the woods, and we'll be down in the redwoods really shortly here, like in a second. Here we are, the redwoods. Just another reason why this is such a great trail. It's all the variety of scenery and terrain. So we're gonna cross the pipeline road. I know, we're gonna do this little bit of an extension to the run. This adds about 2/10 onto the total run. And it's well worth it, because we're gonna get into some much taller redwoods here. And the forest path is really awesome. So right here, we've come to the end of that little deviation. It's about 1/10 of a mile from here to the pipeline road. Now if we take this road down the hill, down that hill, it'll eventually meet up with the pipeline road again. And you can follow the pipeline road along the San Lorenzo River, and you'll go past the visitor center for Henry Cowell, past the main gates down on the Highway 9 entrance. And there's actually some beautiful views down there. There's a, should we just go, Sean?
No.
No? All right, we'll do that on another run with us when Sean feels stronger. But there's some beautiful views, wide open meadows, and one of the toughest hills in the county, the pipeline road. All right, so we just got done with the little extension out into the redwoods, and we're back on the pipeline trail. We're heading out towards the south boundary entrance on the pipeline road. And the next stop is a really cool spot. There's a bench here, the overlook bench, and it's the second best view, I would say, to the observation deck. Right. It's gonna be right up ahead on the trail. We'll check it out. All right, we're back to a critical little juncture here. We're gonna leave the pipeline road again. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back to the Powder Mill Road, which is right there, but we're gonna take the Powder Mill Trail. This is gonna take us back to the Graham Hill Trail. We're gonna go through the creek. We're gonna come down this side of the ravine, back up the other side, and to the parking lot. And it's about 0.7 miles. So we're almost there. We've almost completed our run. So this is actually where I've done some of my best testing of the grip top sandals. I was talking about that earlier. But this path in the winter, just water pools up big time on this whole section. And a big test for me was, could I run basically full speed through the water with my sandals on? And the answer is yes, you can. And so we're gonna do some winter runs here. At some point there's gonna be a run with us, and we're gonna come back here in the winter time. Sure. So this is the last section right here before we go down in the ravine, and it's a really fun little section. It's a great spot to kind of open it up a little bit, go a little bit faster, and take advantage of the downhill, which isn't too bad because it's basically kind of like switchbacks. So it's not too aggressive, just a little bit so you can pick up some speed. I'll follow you for a minute. Oh. All right, we just crossed the little creek. Here we are in the ravine. It's really pretty in here. This is one of the best spots of any of the trails anywhere, but it comes with a price. So after you've done this run, you've ran through the deep sand, you've gone all the way up to the observation deck, through more deep sand. You've been doing this whole run. This last section is pretty steep, and it'll push you for the last like quarter mile or maybe a couple tenths of a mile up the hill. But it really gives you a great workout. I think this is, if you're gonna run 4.5 miles in Santa Cruz, this is one of the best little workouts you're gonna get because of the terrain variation, the elevation gains and losses, scenery, all of it. It's gonna be a good one. All right, almost there. So we just made it to the end of the pipeline trail, loop trail as I run it. It's about 4.5 miles. We've seen all kinds of scenery, and we're about 20 yards from the parking lot right there. In any case, I hope you enjoyed running with us, and I look forward to seeing you next time.